Right, hello again. Red Panic back once more for some more casual chilling and working on a bit more of my MES think tank rogue AI mod thing. How is everybody tonight or this evening? It's only, what is it? It's only 5 o'clock in the evening where I am. So I've done a little bit of work since I last got to stream some of this. I have upgraded the respawn mech zebra thing, so he now has nice simple subgrid driving controls, so he can drive backwards and forwards nice and easily. Oh, hang on. Did I? Oh yeah, sure enough, since it is on. Thank God, I had to check that setting before I did anything else. Yeah, he now has drive controls that are nice and easy. And then we can switch to the walk controls. And I've set that up with some of the steer overrides, so we can move the wheel feet into nice positions that make it walk a little bit quicker. So you can do about 6 meters a second now walking. It's not too bad. And you can do about the same in reverse as well. Right, so I've done that. I have also kind of found a way to possibly get an NPC shop into this mod. I've also added the new O2H2 generator, the small grid one, onto the back of it. So it's got these lovely glass pods that look pretty cool. And then it's got some bubbles when it's turned on. Looks pretty sweet. So I've stuck that in there as well. But yeah, I've also been tinkering with a mod that allows you to add easy customized shops or shop blocks to the game. So I've been playing around with that and getting some half decent results out of it. A few things I need to tinker with, but yeah, so I've designed this little compound type thing. There's a little building in the middle and a platform at the back. And a door here. It's not quite finished yet, but we've got a gate there for getting in and out of. There's a couple of interior turrets on the inside to keep out troublemakers. And then we've got a little robot host at the desk that I might try and figure out what else I can do with. But back here, we've now got 2 custom store blocks. So we've got one that I've set up to dispense random amounts of different ammunition and stuff for the moment. And then I've got one here that can just about dispense mechs in exchange for money. It's a mod that's running a little bit of a script as well. So basically, when I buy something from it, it uses some of the shop spawning mechanics. Where am I? I'm there. So there we go. If I select that and click buy, it spawns a mech, but it's not massively precise about where it does it. It's a bit annoying. Alright, buy another one, it'll spawn it there, which is a little bit high up. And I'm trying to figure out how to adjust the script to get it to be a little bit more specific with where it drops them. But yeah, that one's really high up. We don't really want that. But it is sort of working, and it's the basics of a shop that you can buy robots from. I just need to actually adjust the blueprints that are being spawned, because these ones don't have any AI controls in them that you can do much with. They'll pretty much just sit there waiting for an enemy to appear in their current state. So I need to upgrade those blueprints at some point. But that is the beginning of a shop. Yeah, like I said, just trying to work out how to contain these spawn points. That one just spawned it right out here. It was nice and low to the ground, but it was all the way over here. But hopefully I might be able to figure that out. what else have we done? We've got my big blue box for doing blue thumbnails, so that's just for putting the mechs inside of. What else have I done since last time? I have been tinkering around with another mech design that is controllable and pilotable. Not finished yet, still got a lot of little bits that need doing. But he's got a big cannon on the top of him and some fixed weapons on the front. And he can walk. And he's also got some drive controls. And I've also set him up with a little bit of a transformation kind of thing. He can drop down a little bit lower to get more wheels on the ground. If you want to go faster and have more traction. And the walk drive control swap thing isn't available when he's in that mode. So if you swap back, we can then switch back to walk mode. Yeah, I did set the cannon up. But it's not got any ammunition in it at the moment. But it does work. Yeah, right. So, what should we work on next? Oh yeah, I was building some more spiders. Leave that one there for now. No, no, don't roll away. Don't roll away. Is it rolling? No, it's just settled now. That's fine, that can stay there. What else? Oh yes. I was starting work on a new spider to go with this stuff. That's what I was doing the other day. So we'll carry on with that. Okay, we'll carry on doing that stuff. So we are gonna need a little bit of a control suit, probably, be helpful. Yeah, right. Okay, so what else are we going to need? I was copying bits and pieces off him, wasn't I? To build up this new one. I was trying to work it into a different shape. Oh yeah, because I had... Did I take any reference pictures? It was a crab spider, wasn't it? I don't think I grabbed any reference pictures of that one, did I? I just went straight from Google, I think. Damn. I just see you moving. You know what? Doesn't matter. We can just quickly bring that up at the side. What do we have? It was. I'm sure it was crab spiders over there. Was it a crab spider? Yes, it was, because I wanted to give it bigger arms at the front than it had at the back. Yep, it was a crab spider, that's what I was working on. Cool, okay, I know what I was doing the other day now, I kind of know where I'm back up to. Alright, so, let's have a look at what we were doing. Yeah. And we haven't really set up any of these properly, have we? No. Right, let's copy some stuff. Copy all. Incompatible because I've used a different kind of rotor, obviously. 55 and 25. And 55 and... what's that, minuses? Minus 55, minus 25. Yeah, that will do. Oh yeah, I used a different kind of rotor, didn't I? 15 and 15. There we go. Minus 15 and positive 15. Could probably name them as well. What is this? This is a crab spider. We'll call it CRB. Flag rotor LFL01. And that is probably going to be, yeah, the exact opposite on the back here. That can be rear right 01. We'll do on that one, it was 25 and 55. Right, 25 and 55, there we go. You copy all of that. Place that onto there. And that's rear left done. That would be the wrong button. There we go. Grab. 0, 1. Vibrator. Mid left. 0, 1. That's the one. Copy all. Place that onto there. That gets to be mid right. Reverse it. There we go. Right, so we need to do more of these bottom halves of the legs. Hello, Mr. MD. I am good. How are you, man? Thought I'd do a little bit more work on my MES Think Tank Rogue AI mod. I haven't really completely worked out the full title for it yet. But I need to build more spiders for it, so I thought I'd stream it. Now I'll probably do a couple of hours. Might get this one finished, maybe start another one. Not quite sure, but for now we're just going to carry on building this dude. So what have I done there? I need to copy that. Did I set that up? I've set that off. Oh, I've already done that. Oh yes, next step is working out these legs. Because crab spiders have bigger legs at the front than they do at the back. So I might need to do a bit of experimenting to work out exactly how long am I going to be streaming, or how long have I been working on the mod. I'm going to be streaming for a couple of hours, probably 2 or 3. Oh, hello, sick. How? Thank you, nice bugs, thank you very much. Right, so let's have a look at this. I've already got one kind of set up. And I can actually... Oh no, I can't, because I've designed that differently. So we'll call this Crab Leg Hinge Mid Left 01. We'll set it up on there to be the same. Oh. Probably be a good idea to put a bit of velocity in there. Yeah, we'll have that like that. And we'll also... Oh, that's too far. Right, okay. Let's... 15, 25. Let's do 55 as the top limit. What does that do? Yeah, that looks like it'd be the top of the arc. So let's set its upper limit. That's the right button. What's that? Did Spider AI going to get out of a ship? I'm not quite sure what you mean. Hang on, let's just set that up. Minus 25, see what happens. Might be alright. Yeah, we'll go with that for now. So it lifts up that long. Oh, hey Chad, how are you doing? What's that? Took care of a little project while I grabbed food between streams. Back to see what the garden variety Mech Garden of Horrors is building this time. I'm building more spiders, so if you're arachnophobic, look away now. Yeah, yeah, we'll go with that for now. Copy all. So if I set that to that and make it rear left, no, well, not too bad. Now, am I going to do the bits that connect onto here? How could we do it? We could just try to get the right colour to start with. Stick something on the end of that like that. Copy all. Set the hinge up in the same kind of way. Hello, DCND. How you doing, man? Yeah, we can have that. If they keep their distances, you're fine. These that have a tendency to follow you. Yeah, they mostly are set up to stalk you and follow you when they get wind of an enemy target. Yeah, right, okay. Let's have a look at a leg design from there. Let's try and do something like that, but in the larger blocks, maybe. If we did that and that, and that, then scaled it up like half block, so it went to that, and that. Let's extend it by a block. Let's do that. Do it like that and make them a bit chunkier. Yeah, that might work. Where are my rotors? There they are. So we have another rotor like that. They are, keep pressing the right buttons. They're not too far off actually. Yeah, that might work. We have the skinnier legs at the back and the bigger legs at the front. Not quite sure how that's going to affect the walk cycle, but we'll find out. Yeah, okay, right, I'm going to do a little bit of button paste cheating to make this a bit easier, a bit quicker. Oop, didn't mean to do that one. Let's just do that. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with the feet yet. Let's take that, let's get rid of them. Place that on there. Get rid of those. Place that on. There we go. And there we go. Right. That's the other side caught up nice and quick and easy. Get rid of that trash. Doesn't need to be here. Ignore that, and I might leave that there for now as a reference point. Okay, so what do we do with the feet? The feet went straight into me getting stuck on that gun. That's good. They went straight into the, oh yeah, the remote controls that control the handbrakes. Because it occurred to me, if I want mechs to be compatible with the shop thing that I've been working on off in the distance, I need to build them with player control in mind. A lot of the tiny little ones, like these guys and these guys, have mostly been built with just AI control in mind. And I'm not sure if I can squeeze any player control stuff into them really, other than just manually controlling a remote. But the bigger ones, I can definitely get more AI modes to follow players and patrol areas and things like that, so I need to make a few upgrades to stuff as well. And I need to bear that in mind while doing some stuff in here. Right, so speaking of player controls, if I want to be able to control the handbrakes on these wheels from a cockpit or a remote control block, what I need is even more remote control blocks that we can stick on the feet and build the wheels directly on. Because although we can't... Way round is that? I want to build it the right way. It's that way. Although we can't actually directly control these remote blocks, they do give us toolbar control access to things like parking brakes and handbrakes. So you can make handbrake controls like that. So let's get some tiny wheels. Or some small wheels. Have I got any wheels? There we go. Let's go for the short 2x2s because they've been a pretty decent size for this kind of thing. Now, that like that. And like that. Load of remotes, one more to control them all. Yes, Chad. The more you have, the more control you have. Or something, maybe. There we go, that was a bunch of them. That was the left-hand side ones. Let's put a bunch of right-hand side ones on here. And I think I need to put some more shear inertia tensor on some stuff. There's a bit of wobble going on there. There we go. Right. Wheels, feet. Fantastic. And that is the right kind of rotor this time, so I should just be able to copy that. Go, beautiful. And that's why there's a wobbling, because none of them have shear inertia tensor on. Or have an appropriate amount of torque set up. What did I do on this one? 1 million and a bit. And that's probably going to be about the same, isn't it? Okay. 1.5 million. Call it that. Copy all but name. So they're all going to be the same anyway. There we go. Right, so that should be all of them. Done. Cool. Right. What else do we need to do? We need to copy more of these settings. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll have to rename some stuff, but that's not a problem. Or maybe we won't. Oh, in fact, hang on. Yeah, we'll have to rename some stuff. I'll copy the names as well. All I need to do then is change the tag on the front. That one. That's the last one. Right, there we go. Legs are looking a little bit better. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with his arms, because crab spiders have 2 little tiny legs at the back, and 4 little tiny legs at the back, and 4 big chunky arms at the front. So I'm thinking, have 4 little legs at the back, 2 large legs at the front, and then 2 bigger arms. Maybe with multiple weapons on, I'm not. First of all, I need to get the walk controls and stuff like that set up, so I want to get these feet finished off. What have we got? Let's grab that collar. How did we do it on there? We did it with those, didn't we? Yeah, that's the one. Did it with those. Go. Right, let's do this one too. Yeah, that was pretty good. Set these up first though. There we go. Cool. That's the wrong one. There we go. There it is. Well, one. There we go. And the last foot, and then I think I've already built all the stuff I need to set up the walk controls other than the thruster. I think. Yeah. We can do more greebling on the leg later. I want to get them set up first. Have I got anything in here? I think so. We'll have a look. What have we got? Walk. Light. We've not even set up a walk light, have we? We've got a light, but it's not a walk light yet. Well, it is now. Right, we've got a bunch of stuff we need to change the name of in here somewhere. Oh yeah, that's something else we need to set up first. Not that. That. Brake control. BRB for crab. Mid left. That can be rear left. Rear right. Mid right. Long chunky front arms, it can shoot you, slap you from 20 meters away. Yeah, I do want to make the arms a bit more chunky, definitely. Maybe even put some pistons or something in there. Yeah, let's copy that. And then we'll just do a big renaming when we get back into that cockpit, or that pilot seat for that. Because I think some of these might have unique settings, I can't quite remember, so just do it this way. Right, last one of them. Right, there's a load of stuff with the wrong name. Right, so let's pull that CRB. Get rid of that. Yeah, because I think I might have actually just... Yeah, I did. I just took the entire computer system from one of the wolf spiders and started building a new body on it. That's why a lot of it's already got the wrong name. But it also means it's a little bit easier to set up some of the stuff. It's already there waiting for me. Right, let's make them invisible so we can see them. Ooh, there's loads of invisible stuff. Right, I need that. Let that happen. Make all that visible. And then I should be able to start setting up the warp controls. It's a bit, got the wrong name. Oh, hello, Drag Dude. With Keen adding or updating the spawning framework for planetary encounters, ships, and global stuff, would I consider making a version of this? I totally would, but I'm quite new to modding and coding and scripting and stuff, so it might take me a while to figure out how to make a vanilla version or something close to it. But I would definitely, if I learn how to do it the vanilla way, I would definitely consider trying to do something like that for consoles. What else have you said? As of right now, you only have one mod that does this and it currently doesn't work. That is a shame. Most of my mech designs, or at least most of my recent ones, will all work on consoles, and most of the things that I do with all of this stuff is totally console friendly. However, this specific mod that I'm working on is based on the MES spawner framework, so that is unfortunately PC only, I think. I'm not sure if MES works on console servers. It might do. Can't guarantee it though. But yeah, if I could figure out how to do this vanilla, I totally would make a vanilla version of it. In fact, the respawn pod, the mod that I've made, that spawns... Where's he gone? There he is. The mod I'm making that swaps the generic respawn pod out for this mech should be vanilla console compatible. The only thing it does is alter a few in-game files using the modding framework, but there's no script or any shenanigans like that involved, so that should work on consoles. Hopefully. What's that? It can on some. Yeah. This is it. Like, I know it kind of works in some cases on consoles, but doesn't always. Depending on, I don't know, what kind of server you've got or something. I don't really know much about that side of things. But yeah, Dragon Dude, if I can figure out a way of doing some of this stuff vanilla, I'll definitely try and have a go at it. The problem with the economy stuff in Space Engineers is it's, from a modding point of view, it's still quite locked down. There's not a lot that you can do with it. There's not a lot that you can do to mod it. And when you do try and mod it through vanilla means, it can cause some serious crashes and things. What's that? You've learned a lot by tuning into these streams, but some people don't have the time and prefer more condensed formats for such information. Yeah, well, I've got a few tutorials and stuff, and I've got my survival series where I edit my explanations of this kind of stuff down a little bit. If you want to see me build a robot in real time, tune into the stream. If you want to see me build a robot in half an hour or something, go and watch Mech Survival. And if you want to see me do it in 10 minutes, go watch one of my tutorials. I've got it all in a few different formats now. Right, so we've got that light, we We have warp controls. Have we done anything at all? Lock switched on and off. It's got the basics. It's got the remainders of some stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's got all the leftover bits and pieces from the old controls. And that could have a load of stuff deleted as well, obviously. Hood hinge, and then that'll be... yeah, okay. Right, okay, where do we start? Walk cycle. That's a good place to start. We've got walk lights. They need to turn on and off, and that'll be the beginning of the whole thing. And then we've got some more walk cycle controls. They are going to look at a cycle rotor. Have we built one of those yet? Not to build a walk cycle rotor in here yet. Oh no, I haven't, so I was meant to build it just in front of that, aren't I? Let's do a bit of brain surgery from you. Where is that walk cycle rotor? It's definitely still in there. Oh, it's that one there. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it's under there. I've swapped that for that one down there. Oh yeah, and that one doesn't have that on it, does it? Yeah. Okay. Let's change it up a bit then. Let's put that rotor in here. Can't go any higher than that anyway, so let's just stick it there. Yeah, that'll do. We'll put that there. Oh, hey, 88B23. Morning, dude. Hey, Vadis. Oh, no worries, man. Oh, cheers, dude. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vadis or Vadis, however you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I butcher people's names sometimes. And yeah, you're right, Chad. Trying to condense explanations of doing this stuff vanilla style into a small amount of time is quite tricky. There's not a lot of easy explanations for a lot of it. Right, so I've actually got a walk cycle rotor now. That'll come in handy. Let's name it as such. So, right. Walk cycle rotor, that will control the actual walk cycle ticking over, as this is my vanilla solution to not having to use precise timers. Precise timers is a great script, but I like to try and figure out how to do this without scripts. So, walk cycle controls, we've already set up the timer, so that'll switch the walk lights on and off. And then we've got 3 walk cycle event controllers that look at different angles on the walk cycle rotor, and as that spins around, it will trigger each of those event controllers, and they are spread out to be roughly equal distances around a 360-degree wheel. And then when each of them gets triggered, it will trigger the walk cycle timer. That one's already set up, that one's already set up, and that one's already set up. Cool. So, I need to make groups for legs. That's what I need to do. Terminal. Leg. Rotors. Hang on. I think I've done something different on this one, haven't I? Have I done that? The older way of doing it by the single rotor, which is a bit harder to replicate and a bit more of a pain. I need to look at a different version of that, don't I? Actually, it should just be on the huntsman that's right next to me. We've got leg. There we go, that's the control system I'm looking for. Leg rotors. Left is that, right is that. No, left one, left two. Yeah, cool. Right, so I need front and left, front and back left, and right, front and back right, and mid left. Cool, right. Leg, rotor. So, front and back left. Get to leg rotor L01. Then the real right, the mid right actually gets to be left 02, just because it makes it easier to program. Front and back gets to be R01, and mid left gets to be R02. Right, so that means we need to let's just quickly have a look at what is it? Let's go and have a look at one of the other mechs. And you run out of power, that's why I can't see you on my toolbar. Thought so. Right, let's put that on. Charger. I can at least access you. Yeah, that's totally a connection point. Okay. Nice. There we go. Right, so that's not going to have anything on there because the labels from the new update aren't applied retroactively. That's annoying. Right, leg hinges then. That's not how you spell hinges. Left is front left. Rear left, mid right. Yeah, that makes sense. Fine, that's cool. Oh, sorry, I didn't see some messages there. I've got some funny music. You feel like in the Matrix? Is that something you usually listen to? Sick. This is the most toned down version of the stuff that I listen to I could find for streaming with. It was copyright free. I'm a very big fan of industrial kind of music. Whether it's industrial techno, industrial metal. I like whole music. If the music's too loud, anyone, let us know. I'll turn it down a bit. Yeah, I just thought I'd get some nice copyright-free industrial techno to have in the background. Vadis, how did I get started with mechs in SE? You're pretty new to it. I got started with mechs in Space Engineers quite quickly. I used to play a lot of other space games, and along the way I heard about Space Engineers. I thought I'd give it a go, and when searching for the usual how to do stuff tutorials that everybody does when they first start playing the game, I came across videos by a guy called Black Armor, who used to be very active in Space Engineers a while back, and kind of specialised in doing a lot of vanilla mech stuff back in the early days. And after watching his stuff, I decided I didn't really care about doing spaceship stuff anymore. I wanted to build robots instead. And after that, I just kind of trial and errored my way to the stuff I do now. Because originally I was on the Xbox, and all I had access to really back then was timers. When I first started playing, event controllers weren't even a thing yet. So there was a lot of very slow, very clunky mechs, and then event controllers became a thing, and then I moved to PC, then I got to start modding the game and doing things like that to make life a little bit easier. And the AI block's on. They don't need to be on, thank you very much. But yeah, I've been doing it for a while now, and just learning and figuring out stuff as I go. You don't have to do it the vanilla way if you're on PC. The guys that run the Mech Engineers Discord, Eternal Colossus and Dragofish and B and all those guys, have a couple of different iterations of mech control scripts that they work on to do it using programmable blocks and scripting. And that comes with, obviously, its own set of pros and cons. It's probably much easier to set up than the way I do it. The way I do it's deliberately difficult because I like the challenge. Right, so what else did I need to do next to get this set up? I needed to make groups, didn't I, for the leg hinges. So the front left, and why is everything else called mid left? That's no good. It's not helpful. Mid left, that's not mid left, that's rear left. That is rear right. I forgot to rename these earlier, didn't I? And that is mid right. There we go. Front right, that's front left as well. There we go. Right, front right, mid right, rear right, left, middle, back. Right, cool. So, leg hinges. Nope. Leg hinge. Left, front, left, rear, right, middle. Oh, it'd probably help if I started by selecting the route down. So, front left, rear left, mid right. Leg hinges, L01. What it really needs to be for now. And then do the same for the front and right rear ones. 101. Do. Cool. Did I ever make a supergiant mech? Yeah, I've made supergiant mechs. I was showing off a supergiant mech that I made in a stream earlier on. And yeah, just for kicks. I think I've got all the appropriate things that I need in here. I've got a couple of supergiant mechs. Factorum Titan that I've been working on. Let's plonk him in here just for fun of having him loom over us. Oh, there we go. He's going to do some weird stuff for a minute until I sort out his balance controls. Yeah. Factorum Titan. There we go. He is now balancing with himself. So yeah, there's a supergiant mech. Oh yeah, the spider base with the drones. I'd really like to come back to that 188, but it makes my game almost crash now. It's so big. I need to get a better computer to finish off that particular mech, because it just makes the game almost break every time and just lag and freak out. But yeah, this Factorum Titan that I've been working on is basically just a one-to-one scaled up version of the mobile assault unit that I was working on a while back. And he has a full pressurized interior, so you can breathe. He's got a central computer system that does all the walking and turning and all of that kind of stuff. Then he's got turret controllers for his arms and turrets. And then he's got a control station to make him move. Yeah, and he's got a nice big window at the front, so you can see out of him. I am thinking of making this guy some kind of boss encounter for this mod, so it's probably worth showing him off at this stage anyway. He needs a bit of tweaking, but he is quite big, and he can walk around, and he can be AI controlled. I've been testing that out. And I've set him up so far with one big arm weapon that's got 2 artillery cannons built into it. So when you turn it on, the arm extends and the hand closes up. When you turn it off, the arm moves back again. And it can be controlled manually, or it can be controlled by AI. And there's the arm controls left. There we go. There we go. So now it can target small ships and stuff. So you could have that as like a big enemy boss just sort of wandering around, waiting for stuff to shoot. I need to fix that. That hand shouldn't be... Yeah, that hand shouldn't be doing that. I need to set some better limits. Is it trying to aim at stuff that's in the way? Yeah. Still need to tweak it a little bit. But... yeah. You can aim at stuff. And it's also got some lower levels. I jump too far every time. Ugh, behave. There we go. Now we've got a couple of little drone docks back here that can launch some drones. I think I've got the controls set up, I'm not sure. I'll have a look in a second actually. And then there's some bunks and some cargo access and some of the gyro control system, some energy and hydrogen and whatever other bits that you might want. Give it a shield in the other hand. Maybe. Any chance of replicating the giant spider from the Wild Wild West movie? Death 13A, you have no idea how many times I've heard that question. I'm gonna have to do it at some point. Yeah, totally. I might do something. What I do want to do, some much bigger spiders for this mod. But I just thought I'd show this guy off for the moment, seeing as people are asking about super big mechs. Yeah, thinking about putting him into the Rogue AI mod as like ultimate boss or something. There is like a boss spawning mechanic to it that I've not experimented with yet, but he definitely fits the bill. Could give it a shield in the other hand though. Yeah, I've still not decided really what I want to do with the other hand. But he's got that. He's also got head controls so that he can look around at stuff, and I also set up a rocket launcher turret. It needs a little bit of a tweak so it can deploy a bit quicker, but that's also got some AI controls. Right, I actually need to go and have a look at that, because the rockets have been buggy lately, and have actually been doing damage in... they've actually been doing damage with damage turned off lately, so you've got to be careful with them. The update has made a few things a little bit buggy in some respects. Yeah, he's got full weapon controls and stuff. And you can call... Oh, actually, sorry. I was going to have a look and see if I'd set those drones up. And let's move over here a little bit. I don't think I've caused any damage to that tower. Oh, cheers, Vadis. Thank you. Right. Did I set up those little drones? Yes, I think I did. So, just behind his back, he's got two little doorways here. Hopefully... Hang on, let's have a look. Drones, they've got controls on them that might need tweaking. Guard flight launch. Let's just... Yeah, they need selecting on there. Before we launch anything. AI unit drone 1. Also needs that setting for before it gets launched, I think. So, hopefully, if this works, we can trigger that. We can open that door at the back. Now when the door opens, it should deploy a drone, hopefully. What happens? Oh. Might be a bit heavy. What are you doing? You sort of working. Yeah, why does he just plummet like that? Anyway, doesn't matter. I need to do a bit more tweaking. Maybe his thrusters aren't strong enough. Maybe I use my modded ones or something. Anyway, that's the big guy. When I've finished messing around with him, he'll probably become a part of this as well. Let's get back to this new spider. Do I have a tutorial on how to make the binary computer things? Sort of. I just build them out of the controls that I need for each particular unit. Most of the time, it's just layers of event controllers like this, all responding to each other and things that they do. For instance, it's a weird convoluted chain. and I can't really explain it with this one yet because there's stuff that I need to build. So yeah, I kind of do. If you go and watch some of my tutorials, the ones that I've got, they will show you how I set up these event controllers and warp cycle systems and things. And it's usually just pairs of event controllers doing things. It's a difficult one to kind of explain. Right, so let's try and explain some of it as we go. So we've got a timer that turns these two lights on and off, and when those lights turn on and off, we'll have an event controller that will be looking at the left-hand walk light, and when that light here, this one, this blue one down here, turns on and off, it is going to do things to the leg rotors. And it is going to, when it turns on, it is going to set the velocity on that group of rotors to -15. And when it turns off, it's going to set that group to 15. Oh, I need to get rid of that. Damn, do that again. So -15 when the light turns on, +15 when the light turns off. If I stick those walk lights on there, zoom out a little bit. Does that with those legs. But there's some things are wobbling there that shouldn't be wobbling. What's wobbling? Foot rotors. That's what's wobbling, I think. Foot rotors? No. Very good. It is... It's been wobbling that much. Oh, that's why. Strength of they. A million. That's why. Yeah, these are all still on. Yeah, they're still all still on. Default torque settings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go, a bit better, but that's still a bit wobbly. Why are you wobbling like so? That's on, that couldn't be. Is this more of the weird collision stuff that was going on earlier? Yeah, that shouldn't be moving like that. Oh, idiot. Why have I made that 15? Might be because it's moving so fast. No, there's still a weird wobble in there. It shouldn't be there. Wow, you've changed the collisions, haven't you? Why is that wobbling like it is? Shouldn't be doing that. Outcast zone. Outcast 01. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. Hey dude, thank you very much for joining. I wonder why that is wobbling the way it is. They've changed more things. It seems quite wobbly. Anyway, we'll carry on. Right, so... that now does that. And then the next thing we need to do in there is we need to do the equal but opposite thing with leg rotor number 2, that one, so that'll be not 25, that's too much, I pressed the wrong button. That will be set velocity 15 and set velocity minus 15. So now we get all 3 of those legs moving together in unison. Really don't get why they're wobbling like that. I think some of the collisions have been messed with. I'm getting the feeling something's scrubbing there. So let's just push them down all the way for now. No, still wobbling. Strange. Anyway, right, so once we've done that, next thing we can do is do the hinges. I need to delete from there, so leg, hinges left. When the leg moves forwards, we'll go minus 15 for now. That should pull the legs up, and when they get past a certain point they'll drop back down, but also when they move back again we're going to have a fail safe to make them move back like that. So when that turns on, do that. Yeah, they should not be anywhere near as wobbly as that. That is not right. Leg rotors, maybe they've got too much torque in them now. Really? Oh, I've selected the wrong rotor for that one. That's clever. Delete that group, just make a new one, just to be certain. What's that? It's Vedis. Sorry, Vedis. How much have I looked up the movement of insects, etc., etc.? Quite a lot, to be honest. I've done a lot of reading and watching videos about, like how insects and things move and stuff like that. You kind of have to if you want to get it to look right and actually work right. A lot of the sort of principles and mechanics of how insects move actually translate into space engineers' physics engine surprisingly similarly. Right, so I've got that set up now. That should be the right things. So then we can have the return controls, which will look at the leg hinges on the left, the rear left and the mid right. And when they get past, what did they retract back to? It was minus 55, wasn't it? So minus 25. Should be if it gets less than minus 54, I think. We'll try that for now. when it gets back to that, the leg hinges left will push back. Oh, yeah. Yeah, pressed all the wrong buttons. There we go. Right, tries again. When that leg reaches the top of its movement arc, it will trigger this controller and it will then set the velocity on those hinges to positive 15 and make them push back down. There we go. So they lift, move forward, and then when they get to where they're going, they come back down again. And you know what, I might even speed them up a bit. So let's take that, leave that and that. Let's change them to minus 20. 20, and the return can be 20. There we go, it's a bit better. Then we just need to do the opposite thing with the other side. So, walk forward, right. We'll look at the right-hand walk light. Leg, rotor, right, and it'll just do the opposite of what the left-hand side does because it's built out of rotors. What's that? You can imagine your YouTube feed is SE and you are not far off, Vedis. It is pretty much just Space Engineers videos, anime, mech videos, and things about spiders. Like, legitimately, that is most of my YouTube feed for my Dread Mechanic Google YouTube feed. Right, so we need to set up the leg rotors. So this will be the opposite, so it'll be 15 going forwards and minus 15 going back. The other side will be minus 15 going forwards and 15 going back. And then the hinges for this side will be minus 20 going forward, 20 going back, and then the return will be, what did we used to say, minus 54 worked, didn't it? Minus 54 less than leg hinges, front right, mid left, rear right. Click them. Leg hinges, right hand, set velocity 20. But we pressed the wrong button as always, because we forgot to delete that group first. Right, once more, leg hinge, set velocity 20. 88B23, what's the first block you use to build a control system? Your go-to to sort. The very first thing I always build with these warp control systems, usually, is the walk cycle timer, because that is like the very central core of what is actually driving everything. And it's one block by itself, and it's usually quite easy to just stick right in the center of a control system. All these spiders have a really similar setup, which is actually this right here, this little computer. So if I make a copy of it, let's cut off the stuff at the bottom, because that's just override balance control stuff. It's not actually central to this. Let's copy that, let's flip it over, In fact, we'll do it over here, where we can get it on a nice flat bit of ground. And let's make another one. So we can cut that out. So that's just AI control stuff. And we'll drop all that off. And that is like the basic first layer of all of my walk control systems. Oh, Vedis, thank you very much for becoming a member. Cheers, dude. Thank you very much. Yeah, cheers, dude. Thank you. But yeah, this is like the very central kind of core of my walk control systems, pretty much. Walk cycle in the middle, and there's a forward control, and then there'll be some walk cycle timers that trigger, walk cycle controllers that trigger that timer, and then I'll have some other bits like the forward controls for the legs and the return controls for them, and then I'll just build up layers of stuff depending on what I need. So this one has got a few AI controls we can get rid of. Here there is a walk start and a walk reset timer. They will be part of that in a bit when I start doing some more stuff. And then there's a remote in the middle, and then some AI blocks, and yeah, that's kind of how I build them up, but they pretty much all start with the walk cycle timer in the middle. And I do also have a moment to think about how many timers and things that I actually want to use and how many I'll need, so I can kind of plan out a layout for them that almost looks aesthetically pleasing and is kind of compact in a way that kind of visually makes sense as well. But it changes from mech to mech depending on the needs. Right, so we've got that one set up. We've got that one set up. So that's the two legs. That pair will move forwards, and that pair will move forwards. So now we just alternate those lights, and we've got a set of moving legs. And that is where the walk cycle timer stuff comes in handy, because that is set to trigger these lights on and off every time it triggers. So all you have to do is turn that on, hit the trigger button, and it makes those legs go through that walk cycle. And then we can automate that by having these three event controllers looking at this rotor, and as this rotor rotates, we'll leave it with its limits set as unlimited, and then as that rotates, it will trigger these event controllers, which we need to turn on. And there we go. Once they're turned on, as that rotor goes round, it will trigger that slot on that one, and it will trigger the slot on that one, and it will trigger the slot on that one. And then we can condense lots of actions into a full rotation of this rotor. And then we can just increase the velocity on this rotor to make that cycle happen quicker. And then it's just a case of tweaking it to fit nicely with the leg settings you've got set up. Yeah, we can have it something like that, like 45 RPM. Yeah, the way I've designed those front legs, it doesn't look too far off. Oh, cheers, Vedis. Yeah, and then to turn that off, all we need to do is turn off this rotor. So if I turn that rotor off, it all stops. Turn it on, it all starts. Turn it off, it all stops. That's the absolute basics of how I do the walk controls. Is timer, turning off lights, and then just tie those lights into the walk animations. Turn the lights on and off, and then you get the on-off action of the animation. And then there's stuff we can do to make all this reset if we want to. So, next thing I need to do really is I need to squeeze in some thrusters to make it controllable by players or AI. And we got that set up like that over here. Let's just do a similar thing for the moment, because it's easy to set up. So if I do that, and that, and that, I can then pop, where is it? You know what, let's just stick it there. That's the vanilla one, not my modded ones. Yeah, sound. That'll go there, that'll go there. Then we can have some thrusters to trigger stuff for us, so we can control that walk cycle manually. I'll copy that, stick that on there, change that to CRB for crab, copy that, put that over there, change that one to override, because the AI likes to turn inertial dampeners back on, regardless of how many times you want it to turn off and stay off. So having a thruster with thrust overrides on is a cheap way of getting around having to turn off inertial dampening. So we've then got that. We can then go to our walk control controller, which is set up to look for thrusters. We can select that forward control thruster, and then when this turns on, we need to do a whole bunch of stuff. Get rid of that and that. Anything else that's in the way. Did I make any reverse controls? I didn't, but I'm going to need to. Yeah, I'm going to kind of need to if I want to have it controllable by player as well. I need to get some other controls in here. Where's the walk forward one? That's the front. That's the walk forward controller. That's a gyro. That's an AR thruster. That's the back of the walk cycle. Oh yeah, because I just completely copied and pasted it, didn't I? Let's... You know what? Let's chop out these, because I've not gotten anywhere near the point where I need to set them up yet. Then we can build the forward... What's that one? That's a walk cycle one, isn't it? Yeah. So I can do the reverse control. Oh, actually, I only need one event controller for either side, don't I? Now I need some for driving, so... Yeah, okay, we'll put them at the back, have them as reverse controls. So I want to be able to manually control the spider and walk backwards with it. We'll have some reverse controls too. Means we'll need to figure out where we can put thruster on the front, and we might. For the moment, I only need the one. I'll just stick something like that in there for the moment. That one there. That can be the reverse control thruster. Yeah. Oh. I do need... Yeah, I do need another right control though, maybe. Need at least one more for the actual reverse control. Put it there. Then we're going to need to leave that row all the way around the outside. So I need to get conveyor routes to the arms. Okay, that'll be fine there, hopefully. So if I take that controller, copy it. That as reverse controls. And if I turn off... Oh yeah. Right, so yeah, I've got those set. Right, cool. I can set up the forward control properly now. So, first thing the forward control is going to do is it's going to turn off the reverse warp control so it can't clash. Then it is going to turn on. No, we're going to make a group for them. We do it all in groups. It's easier to repair using printers and projectors and things. Because if you try and print stuff that's been damaged or repaired or come apart from something, and it's using event controllers and timers, and those timers and things are using single actions directly connected to an actual individual block, it can sometimes forget what that block is. If you use a group, it usually gets remembered, and then you just have to like rename some stuff the same as the group, and it'll kind of automatically throw it back in. Vedis, got any timeline on when the MES thing's going to be done? Not really at the moment. I'm still kind of learning how to do half of it. And building assets for it. Couple of months maybe? I don't know. I'm back in full-time work again now, so it's probably going to be a little bit slower. But it will be out eventually. It'll be, like I said, I can't really say. A couple of months maybe. There's other things I need to learn how to do before I feel in any sort of state to actually release it. At the moment it's literally just like a generic spawner that doesn't do very much other than spawn some buildings and some robots. But it's getting there. So if I turn those two off and flick the lights, it now does nothing because there's nothing reading those lights. However, we can now set up these reverse controls. And we can achieve the same thing that we did with the forward controls. But we can do it kind of the opposite way around. At least a little bit. So, we can have walk lights, walk light left, and walk light right. And when those lights get triggered, we'll do some very similar things to the leg rotors. Like -15. With 15. And set velocity 15 and -15. But with the hinges, we can do them the other way around, so we can get the legs to walk backwards. So that will start with 20 and -20. So now we can take a backward step instead. And then we just need to do the same thing with the other side. So leg rotors, this side can go 15, -15, -15, and 15. And then the leg hinges can be 20 and -20. So now the right legs walk backwards as well. Now we can have a backwards walking animation. And all we have to do to get the forwards animation back on again is turn these two off and turn these two on and start walking again. Yeah, no worries about this. Yeah, like I said, I'm the kind of person that will get an idea that they don't actually really fully know how to do and then have to learn how to do it as they go. Which has pretty much been my entire experience of space engineers, so yeah, when it is nearing completion I will make more videos about it and all that kind of stuff. But I've only just really figured out how to restrict the spawns that appear depending on your reputation with the enemy AI faction, so it doesn't just spawn everything at you all the time. Now I've got the basics of this system in place where if one of these locations spawns and you've only just discovered the rogue AI, the smaller ones will appear. And then later on, when you've fought them a bit and upset them a bit and you find more locations, it might spawn bigger ones on you. And if we've really upset them, it will spawn some of the big 3x3 grid ones that I've made. Now I want to kind of build a system, hopefully, to spawn great big boss mechs when you really upset the rogue AI, but that's something I haven't really played with yet. But now we can actually set up these walk controls properly. So, walking forwards does that. Then that'll turn the walk forwards controls on and off. We will also need a group for the walk return controllers, and we'll need a group for the walk reverse controllers. Yeah, that's kind of how I always roll about this, is I figure it out as I go along. I get an idea and go, ooh, that's cool, I don't know how to do it. Let's just jump in head first. Right, cool. So, what were we doing next? Oh yeah, we were doing the controls. So, we have set that up. Do we want to turn those return controllers off? I don't think I do. I think I only want to turn off the forward controls. Let's have a quick look at this wolf. He's got one of the most straightforward versions of this system. Not. Walk cycle, pod hinge. Oh, apparently he's got a really straightforward one. It's so basic, it's not using these controls. Okay, I'll have to remember how I did it. Hang on, does this wolf have it? Is this the more up-to-date one? Oh yeah, this is the more up-to-date one. Silly me. There we go. Right, so we're going to turn that on and off, that on and off. Yeah, and we don't touch the return controls because that messes with stuff, and then we need to set those up. And then we do that. And then we've got some override settings on the suspensions. Yeah. Yeah, sound. Right. I know what we're doing now. Cool, so forward control, we do that, turn the reverse controls off and on, turn the forward controls on and off. Then we need to make walk, start and reset, and we need to set those up. So walk, start, walk, reset, walk lights. We've got all sorts of stuff we need to do here. All sorts of stuff that we need to rebuild. And leftover controls that we don't need anymore is we can set steering override values to whatever we want now. Don't need to do all of that increase stuff nonsense. Right, so first things first, walk lights. When it starts, the left light will turn off and on to make sure it's on, and that will turn on and off to make sure it's off. And then the cycle controls will turn on and on and on. Let's make a group for them. Kuthut, you meant to be late, but you still made it. Don't worry, mate. It's only... It's not even coming up to 2 hours yet, so I'm probably going to do at least another hour of this before I might go and have another break and come back and do something else. But yeah, you know, I missed a bit, but there's still plenty left to go. Let's make a walk cycle group for these controllers. That'll make things a little bit easier, so I'll do that. Walk start, walk cycle. Controllers can turn on, and then that can turn on. And that should be that for the start, and then reset. That's turning off. That'll need to move anyway, so bin it. They can flick through that to make sure they both turn on again, and reset. Then we can have the cycle controllers turn off, cycle timer stop, cycle timer turn off, and cycle rotor turn off. And then we need to make some groups for some other stuff. We need, oh yeah, reset groups, because I want the legs to go back to a particular position. Oh, no worries, Vedus, you go do what you need to do. If you want to lurk in the background, that's fine by me, dude. Not a problem. Thank you very much for becoming a member, by the way. Much appreciated. Right, so reset. We need to make some reset groups for the leg rotors. Because it's a bit easier. So I want the forward leg on each side to go forward and the rear two on the opposite side to go back, and because of the way they're set up with the rotors, it'll all be the same value. So let's copy that. have that, front, left, mid right and rear right. Reset L01. Reset R01. And then in the reset bit, we can stick them in here. So leg, rotor, reset. Where is it? Set velocity minus 15. Reset right, set velocity 15. I think that's the right way around. And that gets to be set velocity 20 to push them all down, and set velocity 20 to push all of those down too. So if I click that, everything goes back to there. If I click that, everything steps into place for the walk cycle rotor to be turned on. And then if I click reset, it stops everything and goes back to the default position. Cool. Right, that's how those two controls are supposed to work. Which means that now works, which means I can stick that on and off there. So in theory, there we go, if I hit forwards on my keyboard, or the W button, it now triggers that little thruster there, and turning that thruster on and off triggers the walk start timer and sets the legs up to go into that position, and then it also triggers the walk cycle rotor turning. And when I let go, it triggers the walk reset timer, which sets the legs back to its default position. There we go. Cool. Groovy. Now we need to set up the reverse controls. Walk reverse is going to be thruster powered. It'll be that one on the front that I've not named. And because it's on the same plane as that rear thruster and that rear override thruster, I don't actually need to stick another override thruster on the front. It'll respond to the same axis of movement, essentially, plane of movement, whichever we would call it. So we'll call that reverse. And walk reverse has got that one. So then the first thing we'll do is the walk forward gets turned off and on as a failsafe. Reverse will get turned on and off. Again, we'll do walk start and walk reset. And walk rotor on and off. And that should be it. Unless there's something I've missed. No, that should be it. So then if I hit reverse, it kind of half works. Something's not working there. Am I not set up half of the reverse controls? I bet it's something stupid like that. No, that works. Why is that not turning on? What reverse? Oh, because I didn't add that to the group. An idiot. There we go. There we go. Right. There you go. So now we've got reverse controls by pushing the S button. And we've got forward controls by pushing the W button. And you can just about see in there the event controllers turning on and off. Right, so that's some walk controls. Let's give it a little bit of a test. I need to put control seat in a different place if I want to test it. Let's move it over here. See how well it actually walks. And we also need to put a battery on it. It's not going to have any power. Fine, I'll just stick that and a control seat on the top of it for now. It's a bit daft, but it's going to be AI and remote controlled anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, it's not too bad, but we also do need to play with the feet positions to adjust them, but it moves forwards. Tweaking the foot positions will help that, and it moves backwards. With a bit more gyro and a bit more mass, it'll be a little bit more stable than that. But you could even tweak the walk cycle to be a bit faster. Basics of it work. Cool, right, so the other thing we needed to do was also the foot suspensions. What did I need to do with that? Suspension left is all of them. Yeah, because when you move forward, your feet move slightly into position to make it easier for you to move along the floor. Let's do that too. Do we have groups for them? No, we don't. Right, so left hand suspension. Right hand suspension. We can add those commands into the walk controllers. And I think, we'll find out in a second. Set steer override to 100% when it's going forward, and then reset steer override when it's not. We need to do the other one as well. Sound fool. So the right hand side, I think that'll be the opposite. So minus 100. And reset. Oh no, I was wrong, it's backwards. Right, cool, let's get to God. Yeah, it's backwards. Do it the other way then. Where are we? There we are. That wants to be 100, and that wants to be minus 100. So now, when it starts walking forwards, the feet or the suspension wheels move into a position that kind of helps them slide a little bit better and move a little bit better when they're going forwards. The front ones generate a little bit more forward friction, and the back ones kind of let them roll a little bit better and move forwards. Cool, so that works like that. So that was minus on the left, positive on the right. So in reverse, it's going to be the other way around, like we had it to begin with. So 100, reset, minus 100, and reset. So when we go backwards, yeah, there we go. The back feet are trying to push forwards, and the rear feet, or the front feet, are now trying to slide forwards, slide backwards, whichever way around you want to call it. Cool. Okay. Right, so that's the basic of some warp controls. I need to go and have a quick little bio break and get a fresh cup of tea. So I'll be back in a little minute. Where are they gone? Well, where's the other one gone? I made two little mechs that just seem to wander off on their own whenever they feel like it. Him, for example. Where has he gone? 2.5 kilometers over here for no reason. Are you walking around, or are you just messing about? No, you just wandered over here for some reason. Where's the other one? And oh god, I'll never find it in that list. I can't remember what he's called. No, it's not the wolf. Talvera. There you are. He's the other one that just keeps wandering off. Suspicious. Yep, see what I mean? Post him in, and he just picks a random place to start going to. So does he. Very strange. Right, okay, well, you can follow him for the next couple of minutes while I... Yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I am back. Where has this little guy gone? Yeah, see, he's set to only detect or head towards neutral signals. But there seems to be some odd behaviour, and I'm not actually quite sure what he's trying to head towards. So I've just been letting them loose to just do whatever, see where they go. And then every time I come back into the game, they seem to have spawned, seem to have wandered off in some strange new direction. But anyway, right, where were we? We were playing with this crab spider. So we now got forward and reverse controls. I need to get some power onto him, so what exactly did I do with the back of this? I want to do something similar. Oh, right, okay, there was battery in there. How have I done that? I have conveyor adapter, O2H2 gen on top. Anything else is in here? Oh yeah, and there's an engine in there, isn't there? That is connected to the other side of that. Yeah, okay, let's do something similar to that. Because it's a nice little setup. We'll have something like that. That pod hinge, that's already set up, that's fine. And what was it? Battery underneath. O2H2 gen on top for the bonus power. What we're going to use, the funky new looking one. It's got the cool bubble effect. And then we had an engine underneath that for extra power. Because the batteries will only last so long with thrusters draining them. So I've been, so for some of the bigger ones, I've been sticking in like a little reserve power system, so when they run low, they can get a little bit more life with a O2H2 generator and hydrogen engine. And they can get a little bit more time to come and fight you, stay in the fight. Or just in case that they sit there for ages waiting for you to come and find them. Or encounter them. I've not got engines on here, have I? No, I can't. It'd probably be helpful if I did. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Engine. Not the toolbar, please. Thank you. I'm gonna have it that way around, didn't I? Yeah, okay. So we've got an engine there. I'm going to have a battery directly under that for some more power. Like so. And then it had a couple of tanks either side of the battery, didn't it? Oh no, it's either side of the... yeah, either side of that. We need O2 on this, because we're not going to be piloting it in confined space. And there's going to be a H2 tank. Another H2 tank. You know what, I might do this different. Right, what? Where is it? There it is. Some more air vents in there to connect that up. So it looks a bit more interesting than connecting it with just an armour plate. Armoured conveyor. Space Guy Falcon, hey dude, what's my fastest mech? The fastest ones are actually probably the biggest ones I've made, just because they have the biggest stride and sort of it translates into moving much quicker. But to be honest, some of these spiders I've been working on recently are quite quick. So I've been messing around with have I cut too much out of his head? You know what? Let's get rid of him. Okay. I've been messing around with some of these spiders and the positions of their suspension, and using that to make them move a little bit better. I'll drop him in. Take control. These guys actually move like really sharpish now. Like, connect to him again. There we go. Because of the way I've positioned the wheels, the drag and the suspension physics sort of like, I don't know, they help it move much further forward and much quicker, and you can get up to like 10 meters a second. They have got a tiny thruster on them, propelling them forwards, but that kind of only does so much. It's a little one. But yeah, he goes quite quick. He gets up to like 9 meters a second now, 10 meters a second. Which is fast. It's about the same speed that a player can sprint. So these guys can chase you down on foot pretty well now. Yeah, he can go about 10 meters a second max as a player. And he can build up. Get up to about 9 meters a second himself. He's not. Oh, there you go. He's up to 10. He was going downhill. So yeah. In terms of small mechs, these guys are actually probably the fastest ones I've made so far. Just because I've made so many little tweaks and I've learnt a lot more about the things that I need to do to get a bit more speed out of them than some of the stuff I've made in the past. So yeah, these guys are pretty sharpish. But yeah, I need to I do need to do some upgrades. I need to swap him for him in the actual mod files. He's a little bit more updated since the fieldwork update. He's a bit old-fashioned, to be honest. They all are now. There's a few things that I need to upgrade. But yeah. Anyway, right. So that was going to be that. Oh, should have brought him over here. I need you over here because you're my point of reference. Right, so under here are the defensive block and some battery low and battery full controls. So, yeah, that's going to be the defensive system that will trigger it coming after players and attacking stuff, so we're going to stick one of them under there. And then we'll have the get yourself controls for the emergency power turning on and off. Sound of my jetpack turning on and off seems to have broken. Okay, whatever. No longer makes the clicky sound. Whatever. We'll probably... Nope, seems to be broken. Whatever. Right, battery low, battery full. That was all the basic bits needed for that pod. Oh yeah, there was also some more controls I wanted to tie into the water controls. Now we've actually built a pod. Water control forward. There we go. So, pod hinge. When it walks forward, I want that to move at 10 RPM. And when it stops moving, I want it to move back at -5. So when it walks forwards, the pod moves forwards. And we'll do the same with the reverse control. Pod hinge. Set velocity 10. Set velocity -5. So it moves forward quickly and resets a little bit slower. Yeah, it just gives it a little bit more life when it's moving. Its little pod moves forwards as it walks. It also helps keep it up off the ground when it's doing hills and things, so it doesn't get smashed into stuff. What's that space guy? I think the longer the leg, the faster it can walk, as long as it's not just hopping. Yeah, obviously the length of the leg and the stride and the way you've set it up will have an impact on how fast it can make stuff move. Big things with long legs can cover more ground, little things with tiny legs just sort of, even if you make the walk cycles really fast, they're not getting very far very quickly, because they can't cover as much ground. Yeah, so that's the walk forward, and the pod comes forward with it. Let's turn all those signs off. And then we walk backwards, we can do that. Walk lights. Let's also make a group for these. Because we can also, when we walk forwards, if we've got any space left, we can have the walk lights turn green when it walks forwards. And change to aqua when it stops, like that. And when we walk backwards, we can set the colour to orange. And set that colour back to aqua, so we can have reverse mode colours and forward mode colours. I love these new set colour light settings. Oh, they make visual indicators so much easier. You don't have to put as many lights on things now, which always helps with things like frame rate and sim speed. The less lights it's trying to generate, the less the engine has to struggle and think. Right, cool, so forward controls, reverse controls, what else do we need? We need to think about arms. We need to think about piping for arms. Cut that out. Yeah, so we just went all the way round from there, didn't we? Yep, that's what we've done. So, we need to put a conveyor connection in there. Put that in there. And we will need, is it the straight one? There it is. That one there. Another corner one. Put that in there. Another bunch of them. That's going to come forward to there. Right. Let's think about these arms then. Let me take that out. That's a really awkward place to try and mount some arms because of this piece here. What could we do? Let's try just putting a rotor on there for now. No, but it would have to be an advanced rotor, and that is going to clip. Absolutely going to clip on the side of there. Okay, let's approach this differently. Let's take that out. Let's take that out. Bum. Take that out. Let's take that out. Build the arms lower down, possibly. It's the corner piece selected, isn't it? Yeah. Do that. We could do that instead. Fill that gap back in. Maybe have the arms come from lower down. Then again, he's going to be quite tall with that stance. Have that there. What else can we do? How do we do your arms? We did them. Yeah. Rotor, hinge, blah blah blah. So rotor. Hinge. Hinge for the start. If we poke that out all the way, that should be able to rotate without clanging too much right now. Okay, that's not too bad. In fact, we'll take those settings. Oh, in fact, actually, we need to put in a rail sorter to pull ammo. Yeah, there we go, that'll do. Where are you going? There it goes. Alright, cool. Right, groovy. Alright, that works. That's fine by me. No, actually, let's do the opposite way around. Not pedantic. So, let's sort that out before we go any further. 1, 0 at the top. There we go. Like that. And we'll have a hinge there. And a hinge there. Now we can rename that. If we do CRB RAB. Yeah, there might be something similar to these arms, but just make them bigger and chunkier. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Stupid thing to do. Copy, orbit name. I do that. Right, copy all. There we go. Copy, paste. Right, so that's literally just a hinge that leads into a rotor. So let's pad that out a bit. Make it a bit longer. Armour it up a little bit. Right, we even put more sorters in there. There's more ammo storage. And pad the arms out a little bit. So we'll do one of them. And then we might do... Actually, no, we've got them in the gun, haven't we? Have we? Yes, we have. They'll be... Yeah, we'll leave that. Okay, we'll do that. Extend that by a block. Then we'll put a rotor on the end of that. Yeah, I'll pull that rotor there. That then gets to the rotor left elbow. So, but I'm pretty sure that's going to start clipping. All the stuff was before. And then we'll have a hinge on the end of there. Yeah, and then we should be able to stick some kind of armouring around this a little bit better. We could do something like that maybe. Rather than that bit up, and then we could potentially have a bit of armour and stuff up here. Yeah, do something like that. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, might make it longer, maybe. Yeah, you know, we'll find out when we build it gun. Might do something similar to that. We've got auto buttons. Could we do something like that? What have I done there? Oh, I know what I've done there. Go on then, let's do something similar to that. Let's have... that one. Nope, it's that one we want. And then it'll be an event. That's what we did, wasn't it? Was it an event? Yeah, it was an event. Then we have a few connectors and then a bit of ammo on the end. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so then we have a T-shape. Where is it? There it is. That's the one. And then we can have a bit of ammo on the end. And somewhere I have got... or somewhere I had... no longer have... weapons, you know, I've placed a merge box with them. So let's put one of those Gatlings on it. And then we can copy these arm settings, hopefully. And kind of mix and match a few little bits from different designs. Yeah, I might have to tweak it a little bit, but you know, let's actually, we'll make that 35 or something, maybe. We're gonna have to bring that back a bit. Yeah, okay, got that. Right then, I want to try and copy the vibe of this a little bit. Wherever I put those things, I've taken them off the toolbar again, haven't I? Yep, because there's not enough room for all the toolbar things I want these days. There we go. We'll have that there, we'll have that there. We'll have another one underneath. Yeah, cool. Like that. Let's do... actually... like... yeah, it can be cheeky. There we go. If I... chop off that, that, will you, just let me, and you just be nice and let me paste it onto there. Of course you won't. Stuff's too close, obviously. Let's move that mounting point then, see if that helps. I need to get some more mass on these legs so they stop jiggling as much. Put that there, delete that, delete that. Are you still a problem? No, you are not. Sweet. There we go. Yeah, that looks a bit better now. Yeah, that can go. And that can go. And that can go. Right, so what else did I want to copy from this? Yeah. Yeah, let's copy that. I quite like the look of that. So we need a camera there, and a camera there. And we also need one of those 90-degree spotlights, or floodlights. And just arm panels and stuff, isn't it? Yeah, that's easy enough. Let's give him a little bit of heavy armour on his arms. Why not? Be nice to him. Got some heavy armour there. And some heavy armour there. What else did we do? We did those pieces. We did. And then a couple of them attached to the side of that. Okay. Yeah, let's do this side first. Right, where are those flat ones? It's not them, it's them. Some of them, how many do we need? We need one of those, and then the little tiny square piece. That's what we need next. There we go, that's the one I want. That can go there. Which part am I aiming at? There we go. I can go there, and then I should be able to attach all of these half pieces onto the end of here. Not you. It's you! There we go. We can have that. We can have that. Sweet. And then what did that do at the front? We just put a cap on there. There we are. Put a cap on there. Have a cap on there. Right, let's copy a few more settings. So, copy that arm. 15, yeah, okay, that's fine. Copy all. Just make it more, rename more properly in a minute. And then we've got that arm rotor. Copy all of that. And then we'll put that on. Oh, what is it? Oh, yeah. Change it to that. There we go. And then that needs to be 20 instead, really. So we'll get a bit too close, I think. And then our hinge. The elbow. There we go. It's 35. We're going to make that 35 as well. Sweet. Right, camera positions for the actual main control. I'll take that out. I reckon that would be a good spot. Let's have a little camera. So we have that there. That's the one. And we have a little camera for it. Right there. Oh yeah, we also need to fix up the top of this arm, don't we? That can go there. That can go there. Right. Gave it some mirror mode controls. There we go. And there we go. Sweet. Yes, okay. Closer to a decent little design here. How many gyros have you got? You've got 3 for control and 1 for override. To be honest, I actually do need to get you a separate override gyro somewhere, somehow. Upgrade you, I need to move some stuff around on you. And I've got my override gyro down there already. That's already set up, so that's not a problem, I don't think. Right, let's squeeze in there. Spectator mode. I've got 1 gyroscope right there. Let's just put the other side of that broadcast controller. Yeah, it's right in the middle is the remote that I need, that's all good. Yeah, we'll have those there, that's fine. So that can be copied, that can be pasted. That can be number 2, and that can be posted, and that can be number 3. Be number 3. Thank you. There we go. Right, so we've got a bit more control. We've got that to trick the AI block later. Oh yeah, we do need a down control somewhere eventually. You know what? Just stick it here now while I'm here. That can go there. So that's 1 AI thruster. That's another one. I'll be using them to trick the thruster into thinking. Using them to trick the AI blocks into thinking that they can move up and down. It helps them target it helps mechs, AI controlled mechs, target things that are up or down hills a bit easier. Because the AI blocks doesn't have the thrusters it thinks it wants to be able to move in the direction it thinks it wants to go, it won't do it. But you can trick it with dummy thrusters aren't connected to anything. Right, so that'll be them. That's that. Can we make a nicer way of covering those up? Over here, I've just put armor plates on them. Is there anything else I could do differently? What could I do? Well, I could just put caps on it. Yeah, we'll just do that for now. That's quite cool. Yeah, that'll do. That'll keep them covered. on. Coming up to 3 hours. Oh, that's not too bad. So we've got a battery there, we've got that there, we've got that there. We also need a small connector of some description on the back. Crab spiders, like I'm basing this one on, do have much bigger abdomens at the back. Actually massively bigger than their body, but I don't think I'll be able to get away with that. Is there something more I could do to this to make it cooler and bigger and more interesting? Put guns on it. I could put... Oh, in fact, I could put a pre-made turret on it, maybe. Perhaps. Where have I got turrets? What about these new ones? I could put auto-cannon turrets on it. The assault cannon ones, I think, are a little bit overkill. They have a single small grid. Yeah, that's at the bottom. Okay. Rather than do that, let's try moving up a little bit. So I get the feeling it's going to clip into the legs. We'll do it from there. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. So we've got a little bit of storage for some ammunition. And then we could put some autocannon on the outside of it. Like that. It'll be a bit more dangerous when it's roaming about. It doesn't look like they're going to get in the way of the legs much, so that's not too bad. Yeah. Yeah, go on. I want them to be a military mech, and I want the military encounters to be a little bit tougher, so... Yeah, go on. We'll do that. We will do that. How much do they store? 72 litres. Oh, so not much more than them, and autocannon rounds are notoriously chunky. Okay, so they're going to have them, but they're probably not going to have a great deal of ammo, so you might not have to worry about them depending on what container settings you've got on your game when you start it, or when you're playing it. Yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. What can we do to shape it and make it look cool? That's what we did with that one. We've got a different kind of shape going here now. Let's grab that colour and just work out some bits. That can actually change now. That's going to have that in the way. That can actually probably just become a regular small conveyor. Not likely to need it again now in that format. No, it's going to be too far from there, so we'll just stick that there instead. That's fine, as long as it all still connects up. Right, so let's get that colour again. Fill that in so it's a bit more armoured, protected. In fact, let's just put a piece around all of them. Right, okay. And we've got that kind of gap here, so we'll do an angle like that, maybe. That's flat across the top, but I don't want it to be completely flat, so we could possibly something like that, something like that, and then have, what do we do on the top of that? Do something like that again. Yeah. Maybe have something like that that's kind of pressing the wrong buttons and kind of still exposes that cool effect. Yeah, go on, we'll do that. We could fill those in, and potentially fill those in like that, if we can get to it. That. What else can we do here? We can do that, we can do that. And that's pretty much just got to be a square anyway. Yeah, we'll just fill that in with a cube. Maybe an easier angle to work with. Yeah, do something like that. And then we could have one of those caps on there. Around as that. Let's do it that way. That way. There we go. It's a bit more covered up. Alright, what shapes can we build off of that? Try and work out this back end. Again, that's probably like that, or something like that. What have we done back here? We've gone out and come back in again. That out. You go with that. Let me take that out and put mirror mode on. Could do something like that. Maybe, yeah, that's a bit better. Kind of matches up to that, sort of. Then we could is that one of the shapes? Is that one of the weird shapes? It is one of the weird shapes. Okay, I might be able to get away with doing that then. Then that's going to be sticking out quite square at the back. What to do with that? Made it. Okay. Yeah, so I pretty much have to do that anyway. If I do that, that's not going to be the right shape, is it? No, it's not. 1, 2, 3, that one. What if I do that angle instead? Let me take that out and just fill that with squares across there. Do you want to have it? Keep that a bit. How are we going to get that though? One, two, three. That's that one. We could do it like that instead, maybe. Yeah, that might work. Do that, do that, do that. Stick one of them in there. Yeah, that's not too bad. Maybe have a spare battery in there, like that one we've got. We also need to fill in that little gap. There we go. And what can we do with that? We could do something like that, and then we can paint that a different colour maybe. Oh, you know what? You know what? I'm going to paint it anatomically correct. Because certain kinds of crab spiders have pink bits, and certain kinds of them are bright pink. So I'm going to give this one some pink bits. And I might give it the glamour armor texture, just to see how it looks with that. And they're not particularly bright pink bits. Let's call it 330. There we go, so that and that. And this bit here will be pink. And the sun is going down, so let's turn that back on, see what it looks like in proper light, or better light. Yeah. Yeah, go on. I'm gonna give it that as its little bit of detail. And then we need not a disco coloured battery, we just need one small battery like that, isn't it? Yeah, something like that. And where have my windows gone? They are no longer here. No, they're not. Fine. Windows, where are they? There we go. mode's cover that over a little bit, but you can still see it kind of. And that can go onto recharge mode. Just get powered back up. Cool, right. Those sides kind of look cool. We've got under here to think about. What can we do with this side? What can we do? We can't do much. I don't want to stick out too far. You do something like that, I suppose. Might be able to get away with it. And then if we... I should take that out. Put that there. And I put that on... I don't want to do. Oops, button. Wrong button. No, we'll do it that way. Yeah, I'll do it that way. Or perhaps not. Let's have a look at something else. Actually better than it that way. Yeah, it would actually. And then we could have a couple of them, one of them. That maybe. That might be too much. We could just break it down a bit easier. Just have that. That. And then we could have something like that there. Cool. Yeah, when that moves forward, not getting close enough to climb, it's fine. Let's also... I'll put a reactor on here to charge it up with. No, I haven't. Let's stick. Where is it? Not down there. No, not there either. Oh, I moved it, didn't I? Let's make it, we'll put it there. Yeah, charge some stuff up. In fact, we'll take those batteries off the side, they don't need to be there. You've got a battery now, and you've also got a spare battery. Cool. Right, what did we do with the underside of this? It was just armor plates. Yeah, it was just armor plates. We could try. Yeah, so that shape Let's stick some of that in. That'll kind of give us a better idea of what we want to do. That one is not the right one. It's that one I want. Find the right way around. There we go. Oh dear, no, that's also not what I want, is it? It's going to lead to that. No, that'll be alright. I just need to take that out and do it differently. We'll put squares in. There we go, like that. Makes it a bit more simple and straightforward. And then we can do that, and we can do... yeah, we'll just do that. There we go. Right, it's got a bit of a pod now. Oh yeah, you need to put the arm plate on the bottom. I'm going to take those bits out. And I am going to do... what am I going to do? I'm going to do something slightly different. Let's do that. Wrong thing. Yeah, I'll do that. Then I could... yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. So it keeps that shape going. Yeah. Okie dokie, that's working quite well. So we need to get an antenna on you, and we also need to get control systems, weapon systems. They're not massively important right now. Yeah, let's just stick a dummy antenna on you for now. Just do some testing. Where have my antennas gone? There they are. Oh, let's get the right colour. Stick one of them on there for now. And you get to be crab. What are the others called? Cobalt's think tank. Oh yeah, I'll call it crab think tank. That's the one. Crab. Think tank. There we go. Think tank. Okay, let's do another little test. Get that off. Let's cut that off. There we go, that's you. Nope, he's off. Right. Lock onto him. Leftover stuff in his control, his remote control from last time. Okay, need to fix that as well. I think his warp cycle needs speeding up a little bit. There we go. He can now walk forwards pretty quickly. And the thruster on his back also helps push him along a little bit. And he can also walk backwards. Nice. And he's got enough gyro control on him to move about nicely. Sweet. Right, these are the elevators. I think they need a little bit more power in them. Oh, no, that's too much. Yeah, just a little bit more power. Yeah, sweet. That worked pretty well, I think. Turn all those signals off. Why are you still seeing a small grid? 5111 or something. Is that the back of your pod? It is. I'm always going to pause that. Grab, think, tank. I don't know why it thinks the pod at the back is the main one, even though the remote control is clearly on this part. Whatever. Yeah, there it goes. He walked along pretty well. Arms are still a decent height above the ground. Like that. Yeah, they're still a decent height above the ground. Yeah. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that as a new design. Suspension blocks, they seem to behave very differently on other blocks as they do to voxels. They're much more slippy on armor blocks and other things, but yeah, I'm quite happy with how well this crab spider is working. And also, now we've got these controls to set override, you can make really easy on and off controls for your forward thrust settings. So now I can just hit number 1 and set him to auto walk. I don't even have to hold the button down anymore. Then I can hit number 2 and I can just turn it off and it all resets again. Sweet. All the things that we need to do though. That remote control needs to be set up with camera. There we go. Grab. Do. Camera. Right. 001 and L01. Cool. Right, so remote control can be camera front, so the next time I take control of it, I can actually see through its eyes. There we go. That's better. Cool. Oh, I haven't put that camera panning mod on, have I? It's annoying. Maybe I should add that to this game. Yeah, you can just carry on walking unassisted now, mostly. You can definitely walk forwards pretty well. We're going forward. They're not too bad at managing inclines. Hey, Angry Jungle Possum. Yes, you did make it to the party. Unfortunately, I will be wrapping this up soon, because I've been doing it for 3.5 hours, and I need to go and get some food, but I am planning to do one more stream tonight. I want to play some more Breath Edge, so I might do that a little bit later on this evening. But, yeah, I have just started testing out the walking ability of this new Mech spider I'm working on. Loosely based on a crab spider. But he's not got any AI controls yet, he's only got manual control, so I need to guide him away from that building. There we go. Yeah, he's not doing too badly now. He's walking pretty well. I still have to set up lots of AI controls and lots of weapon controls, which is a bit of a pain in the bum. But I'll probably do that either next time or off stream or something. For now, I'm quite happy with the fact that he is walking around nicely. Exactly what I wanted. Ah, my faction logo is working this time. Cool. Right, we'll take him back over here. We'll stick him there for the moment. I'll keep him. I've got more stuff to do, so I'll keep you. In fact, no, I'll just get rid of you. I'll leave you strung up there because we've got more work we need to do. It'll be easier to get to you when you're like that. Yeah, so I was showing this one off earlier a little bit, which is one I've been working on. As one that's actually got a cockpit, but will also have AI controls to roam around and stuff. This one will be a little bit different in that you might be more inclined to try and catch it because you can operate it yourself. And he's got slightly different setup with his legs. I also need to try and experiment with the wheel position settings to see if it will help him walk a bit better. Yeah, this one's got a slightly different leg design. You can still walk about. And he's got a big turret cannon on the top for shooting stuff, and a cockpit that needs a bit of setting up. That can be deactivated and returned to its default position. The guard and patrol modes aren't set up yet, so we'll just ignore them. There is a drive control setting, so he can also drive about instead of walking. Like the rescue pod mech that I've made, but this guy has also got another bonus setting where he can drop down like so and get more wheels on the ground for more traction. And you can just steer him with the mouse because you've got gyros on him, and you can use the left and right keys to help turn the wheels to get him to turn a bit better. But yeah, he's got a couple of drive modes. And then he can transform back. Then we can turn walk mode back on, and you can plod around like that again. No worries, man. No worries, Vedus. I'm about to wrap this up myself anyway, because it's been 3.5 hours and I'm going to get some food. But yeah, thanks again for becoming a member. Thanks again for watching and chatting and all that kind of stuff, dude. But yeah, this stag beetle that I'm calling him, is the only one that's not directly spider inspired at the moment. So he's more, well, beetle inspired, hence the name. But he's got a lot of the same kind of settings. Yeah, he needs a bit more work, but he does have a control seat unlike all the other mechs, so you might want to try and capture him rather than just blow him up. But I am also thinking of adding this guy to the shop. I also need to put a few more gyros on him because he's not very good at turning at the moment. He's a bit of a pain in the arse at turning at the moment. I've got too many override gyros on him. Anyway, let's turn that down. That's probably why. There we go, it's a bit better. Yeah, so I'm thinking of making him part of the shop at some point, but I need to set all that up, and that's a little bit tricky, complicated. There's nothing in the shop at the moment, apparently. Lots of ammunition. None of that. What if I just flick it on and off? You gonna give me anything? Yeah, I need to work out how to fine-tune the spawn rates of the mechs and stuff that are supposed to appear on this. There we go, there's one. It's now for sale. I think maybe if I put more in, it might generate them more frequently. I'm not sure, but yeah, we've now got that one for sale. So, right, line myself up here. It's going to spawn it somewhere that is probably not exactly where I want it to be. But I can buy one of these now from this store, buy it, and it spawns it way too high in the air at the moment, but it's at least spawning them, which is good. So I'm halfway there. I'm getting this mech shop idea almost off the ground. I'll buy another one, but yeah, it spawns it really super high in the air and in quite a wide random variety of locations, which is a bit annoying. But it spawns it, and when it spawns it, it's mine. So I have actually purchased it properly. So I'm halfway there. I've got stuff that can actually spawn and be bought and all that kind of thing. And I've set that one up to do like random amounts of different kinds of ammunition that might be a little bit hard to come by if you don't have the necessary stuff to manufacture it. If you find one of these little outposts, you can buy it. And yeah, I'm going to add these to the mod spawner at some point, once I've done a bit more work on them. And when I've done a bit more work on him, I'll add him in too. In fact, we'll bring him back over here. Because this little group is all the sort of military stuff. He won't be, he'll be getting removed. I'm just using him to copy. He's my sort of base model for building this. You stop twitching your legs. What are you doing? Your AI block twitching. Now, anyway. Right, so that's all the military stuff I've worked on so far. And we've got more civilian stuff. It's going to be all of these mechs and these locations. And then we've got a little collection of industrial stuff, which is these guys. And then all of these more industrial, rusty looking locations. And then we've got these factories, some of which are going to be hostile, some of which are going to be neutral. And when these spawn, they're the ones that spawn these little guys that keep wandering off and doing their own little thing. Where's he gone? There he is. So yeah, when one of these factories or warehouses appear, it spawns a couple of these dudes, and then for some reason the way I've got them set up, they just seem to pick a direction and go wandering. Not quite sure why, but I'm indulging the behaviour to see what it does. But they also have some arms on them that can look at players and things and move towards them. And they've got some random bits on the ends just for fun. Yeah, they just do their little thing and wander about. So pretty much all of these buildings I've now incorporated into this MES mod now, except for the shop, which I'm still working on. But yeah, I've incorporated all these buildings in, and I've also got this building now to set up. But when the player gets near it, this dude will actually quite comfortably spawn inside here. And then when you get too close, he will come and get you. Which I'm quite happy about. In fact, all the bits for this mod actually in the folder. I haven't taken it out, have I? Mod testing, are you? No, looks like everything that should be in there is in there, so okay. Right, before I bugger off for the evening, well, bugger off for this stream, go get some food, before I come back and do a bit more screaming in a bit, let's spawn some stuff. MES spawn planetary installation. Let's spawn a bunch of stuff and see what comes up. What have we got then? The science outpost, military hangar, that's the one. Will be set up correctly, hopefully, from the last time I was testing it, unless I've broken something. Yeah, there we go. So, I sit there with the camera, and if I fly towards it, when I get within 3 kilometers, we should see that big tank appear inside it. Oh, I've alerted something else. Is it going to spawn? How close do I need to be? Oh, there we go. He has spawned inside. And I've upset a load of other stuff along the way. There we go. Now, when I get closer, I can do weird things in my arms and legs. There we go. The AI blocks kind of line of sight, so they won't be able to detect me here. When I get around the front and in view of the mech, that may change. Yep, there we go. That has changed. Why are you trying to chase me? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, still needs a little bit of tweaking, but I'm doing some strange stuff with his legs right now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he'll come after me. I need to get him to spawn with more ammo though. Because they run out of missiles and autocannon ammo super quickly. Yeah, those things can spawn these things now. If you're not careful. What have we got over there? The science outpost. So that's spawned. Oh, and a couple of little robots. Ah, they're coming right for me. Oh, look at him. He's going. He's going. Yeah, a lot of them are quite quick. Quite nippy. They'll hunt you down pretty well. We'll save that. We'll fly back. I'm going to turn the damage back on for a second. Come on, there's more you towards you, mate. Come on, come on, come on, self-destruct. Come on, blow yourself up. Yeah. Or you're going to be weird because... Oh no, there you go, you blew up. And then you blew the front of him off too. And then there was a sound bug. Okay. Strange. Yeah, all the the location spawns are working pretty well. They've all got their own... They've all got a unique faction ID for the Rogue AI faction. What else have we got? Security outpost, engineering outpost, depot, station. That's a pirate bay. That's not mine. Oh, there's one of the factories. So that I've set up a basic neutral faction. There we go. That have factories and their own faction icon, Kenbishi Dynamics. Trying to figure out what the reference is. And if I stop jiggling my arm like a crazy person, fly towards it. I think I've set these up to spawn those little robots. I can't remember. Should have done. It might be the other warehouses that spawn them. No, it's obviously not this one. Oh no, there it is. There they go. And yeah, as soon as they spawn, because they're set to detect neutral targets and head towards them, they just seem to... I'm not even sure what they're heading towards. They pick something and then just wander off. So I keep finding these things wandering through the desert randomly, which I think is unintended but interesting behaviour. Another one over here. Yeah, not respawn, the same kind of thing. Anything else we've got? HT depots and things. Intelligence station. So we approach that. We'll see what happens. Spawn something, probably. Nope. Oh, there we go. That spawned... Let's spawn some little things. Where are they going? Are they coming after me? That one's coming after me. The other ones get too close, they explode on you, so you've got to be careful of them. And then those ones just like to try and shoot you. So I think at the moment I've got my faction status with them quite low, so it's only spawning these small ones at the moment. And let's spawn some more of these other ones. There you go, another factory spawned, another set of those have spawned, and they've just picked random directions to start walking in. Spawn some more random stuff, because why not? What else have I got in there? Science station, explosive depot, storage silo. Nope. Getting near the storage silo has spawned another explosive one, I think. Yeah, so I've set it up so the smaller buildings only really spawn like one. One small spider. No, I've got it. Oh, have I left that door open by anybody? I shouldn't be able to open that right now. And then they've got stuff inside that you can steal. Go on, blow up. Come on, blow up. Some of them have timers on them. Yeah, he's got a timer on him. And there's an explosive depot over here. Have a look at that one. That'll be nearly 4 hours, and I'm definitely going to get some food. Yeah, there we go. There's some more little buggers. Now, he's got some explosive barrels on his back. And he's full of warheads. He's got loads of warheads in him. You got to be careful of these two. Got to be careful of this place. Because it's full of explosives. It's also got a bit of loot in it if you're lucky enough. Are you going to detonate? Yeah, that's him detonating. And that's him detonating. The one with the warheads is on a bit of a timer. We've also got to be careful because there's explosive barrels around here too. That can blow it all up. And then it's all gone. Unless you're really lucky and some of it survives. Have I not set this up to actually spawn loot properly? It might have all been in the cases that just got exploded. Yeah, anyway, that is what this mod does so far, pretty much. As you're walking about, it'll spawn all these different kinds of locations. And there'll be loot and things. In fact, we'll have a look at one more. I'll have a look at this science station over here, since it's pretty close. Oh, something has detected me. Something has locked target. Maybe locked again. Lost sight of me for a second. There it is. It's coming right for me. Yeah, all the weapon sound effects seem to be broken. most of yeah, all the explosions are. And he's still exploded. What we got around there? All the little orange ones. That shouldn't... I shouldn't be able to open that. Or is that due to... Oh, use all terminals, that's why. Oh, yeah, that's me doing that. Okay, so, once you've got through the door, you've broken in, you've got stuff like this on the inside. There's terminals, there's a few dead guys that might have some loot on them. There might be some loot in here. There we go, there's a bit of loot in there. Only in this one. Yeah, some ammo in there, fantastic. And yeah, I've got them set up to generate different kinds of loot depending on what containers are present. Yeah. So it's not going too badly. It's just a little bit slow as I figure out how to do all of this stuff. Still on one. In fact, let's turn that off anyway. No, that's not one of mine. That's one of the games. That was my military barracks. There we go. Right, so... Cool, right. Yeah, it's been like 4 hours. I'm gonna get some more food. But that was pretty good. We've got like 90% of the new mech sorted out. Just need to sort out a few weapon controls and do a little bit more greebling, armour it up. It should be ready to add into the mod, which is pretty sweet. Cool, so thank you for watching, thank you for chatting. I'm going to get some food and I'll probably be back in like another hour or so to stream a bit of Breath Edge, because I want to play some more of that. And just chill and not have to think too much about robots and coding and things. So, thank you for watching, thank you for chatting, and I will see you all next time. So, goodbye for now.